Hello everyone, here is Daljit Kaur, your painting teacher. I hope you all are very fine. So today we are going to start a chapter number 3, that is Bengal School of Painting. Time period is above mid of the 19th centuries. So let's start with this chapter. First term is Renaissance. Shri E.V. Habel gave a constructive, graceful shape to his decision at Calcutta. There he was introduced to Shri Abhinandan Tagore, who was a leading artist of that time of India. Within 10 years, a new school of painting was established with his help and efforts of both. It was based fully on Indian traditions, which became famous as Bengal School of Art. In 1907, Shri E.V. Habel, Shri Abhinandan Tagore, and his brother Shri Gaganendra Tagore founded the Indian Society of Oriental Arts, whose main aim was to encourage traditional Indian art of painting with the help of progressive artists. There were 30 Britishers and 5 Indians in this organization, and the director was Lord Kitchener. In 1908, an exhibition of paintings was organized in which the paintings of Shri Abhinandan Tagore, Nandlal Bose, Gaganendra Tagore, and Shailendra Nath Ray were exhibited. Percy Brown, John Woodruff, N.C. Mehta, and O.C. Ganguly encouraged these artists with their appreciation. In the same time, Lady Haringham came to India. She got the painting of Ajanta copied by Nandlal Bose, Asit Kumar Haldar, K. Venkatappa. She also got the same published in the Indian Society, London, which is very big and proud thing for Indian painters at that time. The paintings of Bagh caves were also copied. Ishwari Prasad of Patna School painted religious themes at Calcutta. Ananda Kumaraswamy arranged several exhibitions of Indian paintings in foreign countries, which is resulted in obtaining respect and fame for the Indian painting in other countries too. The main purpose of this school was to flourish the Indian traditional art in the different areas as well as in abroad also. This renaissance of Indian art spread in every corner of the country after starting from Bengal. Special art centers were started at Bombay, Madras, Delhi, Punjab, Gujarat, Lucknow, Jaipur, and Hyderabad. Devi Prasad Roy Chaudhary, Jamin Rai, Asit Kumar Haldar, Ravi Shankar Rawal, and Amrita Shergill did different experiments in foreign techniques with Indian tradition in mind and gave a ting of Indian art in all the new experiments. Basically, these artists have done mixture of the both arts, that is Indian traditional arts, and the effect were Western art. Wash technique, which was a foreign one, was studied at Bombay, but the above artists gave birth to a new style of paintings by the integration of Indian and foreign art, which was quite Indian in character. Next is subject matter of Bengal school. So many historical events were painted in this style, like Tishya Rakshita and Buddha and Sujata, painted by Abanindranath Tagore, a very famous one. Also, Asit Kumar Haldar has painted Akbar and Kunal, which is very famous paintings. Second is religious paintings. That's first is Mahakali, Shiv Parvati, Krishna and Gopis, and many other events were painted under this theme. Next is literary themes. Themes of Indian literature were liberally painted in this school. Meghdut of Asit Kumar Haldar is very famous under this theme. Next is social life. In this, there is an abundance of social and daily life paintings like hardware merchants, beggars, the last journey, and their day-to-day activities worth mentioning. Next, fifth is birds and animals. Birds and animals have also been painted, but the animals painted are really beautifully and expressive. In the painting Last Journey, the end of the camel has been depicted. It is a wonderful emotional sight. The expression on the face of the camel are very touching. Sixth and last is landscape painting. Landscape paintings have been beautifully done in this school. Next is characteristics of Bengal school. First is effect of Ajanta. Bengal school have very clearly effect of Ajanta paintings, or we can say also the soul of Ajanta is clearly visible in the Bengal paintings, because in this school all the cave paintings were copied by the different artists. Bengal painters have tried to introduce the linear delicacy, rhythm, and grace of Ajanta in their paintings to the best of their ability. Full of Indian traditions. This school is full of Indian traditional style of painting, which was actually the main aim of Bengal school painters, or the main aim is to flourish more and more the tradition of Indian paintings. Second one is simple and clear paintings. Paintings are simplified and normal. It takes no time to understand the paintings. Mostly the paintings are realistic rather than abstract. Soft and rhythmic figures. The figures are depicted in paintings are delicate and graceful. There is no hardness in them anywhere. The rhythm of the figures gives an extraordinary pleasure to the eyes. All figures are having a curvy effects. Next, fourth is attractive color scheme. The color scheme of the paintings is very attractive. Bright and gaudy colors have not at all been used anywhere. Wash technique has been used in order to bring harmony in the painting, or you can say rhythm in the painting, or flow in the painting. Fifth is impact of Mughal and Rajasthani school. There is a little much impact of Mughal and Rajasthani school in these paintings. At some places we can also see. Next, last is light and shade. Light and shade has been very delicately shown, which has added softness to the painting, and hardness is nowhere seen in them. is also representing the various color schemes and color tonal values also. In spite of the above qualities, some drawbacks remained in this style. In the beginning of the paintings were very attractive as they were painted by the pioneers of the school, Abhinandan Tagore, Gaganendra Tagore, Asit Kumar Haldar, Nandlal Bose, Jamini Roy were among the prominent ones, but the later artists could not paint with that standard, or we can say at the end, slowly, the standard of the painting is becoming very low. We find an inferior copy of Ajanta Mughal Rajasthani school, etc., like long arms, thin figures, half opened eyes, dim colors, made the painting unattractive afterwards. The rise of Bengal school. With the coming of the British Empire in India, there was a decline in the Mughal and Rajput school of painting toward the 19th century. But Mr. E.V. Havel encouraged again the traditional Indian art, and an Indian artist, Abhinandan Tagore, tried to regenerate a national style of art in painting in Bengal school, which is the main motive of this school. So our next topic is contribution of Bengal school of painting in national freedom development, which is very important. Art and artistic creations have always been a reflection of the social, economic, and intellectual environment of a society. Through our art creations, we can depict or we can show to other people what is going on in our society, or we can say art is a mirror of our society. The period of the Indian freedom struggle was full of patriotism when everybody struggled together under the leadership of great men. It is a well-known fact that the Indian freedom movement had a tremendous impact on the public life. Towards the end of 19th and beginning of the 20th century, brought in an extreme phase which influenced the existing artists also. They too chose the freedom struggle as a subject for their paintings as a kind of service to the Swadeshi and national movement. So here we can say how artist has served for their nation at that time. Furthermore, some of the national leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru also took help from traditional Indian art to arouse the feeling of patriotism. These national leaders understood the growing popularity and sincerity of these artists to a great extent and encouraged them. The great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru and other ones also took help from these artists who have perfection in their hands to arouse the main agenda more and more in public through their art. Indian art had suffered enough at the hands of its invaders also. First, Mughals berated Indian classic art, and thereafter Britishers did the same with Indian miniature art. They changed the education system and they ridiculed everything that India was known for. The art of religious importance for the common people was made to feel inferior. Even the literate Indian youth fell prey to westernization and prefer Western culture over Indian. This is the impact of people of coming from other countries upon Indian traditions, Indian culture, Indian art, Indian education, and as well as Indian folk traditions and their art. First, Mughals had impacted more to our temples, that sculptures, that miniature arts, and lifestyle paintings. Then Britishers had totally changed everything, like miniature arts. They invaded and they took away the miniature arts and their copies with them. At this juncture came Bengal School, which played a great role as a revivalist movement to help art in gaining a national identity and also contributed to the freedom movement. The Bengal School painters were who that persons who developed Indian traditional art again and gave a very good hand to settle down the impact of Indian traditional art among the public. In this effort, Abanindranath Tagore was the first major exponent of Indian nationalist values in art. He was the first person who is known as first nationalist who has given values back to the Indian miniature arts or Indian traditional art. He was the founder of Bengal School as well as the Indian Society of Oriental Art. Now we are going to read about paintings describing the freedom movement by different artists, or we can say contribution of the different artists in freedom struggle. First is Bharat Mata or Mother India by Abanindranath Tagore. In this painting, is a testimony of both his nationalist outlook as well as the greater ideas of the ideal Bharat that Indians were dreaming of. Abanindranath's Bharat Mata was somewhat an originator of Roti Kapda Makan theme of later India. He has shown that at that times India's three unique features, three unique needs, that are roti, kapda, makan, food, clothing and shelter. It was his answer to the rising Swadeshi sentiment and public uproar against partition of Bengal. He portrayed a young woman with four hands in the manner of Hindu deities, holding objects symbolic of India's national aspirations in view of traditional India idea of the nation as a mother goddess. In this painting, he has shown a lady which is the symbol of that India or mother goddess of a whole nation, done in miniature format. Was a revivalist in conception. It is also showing the feeling when He got sentiment feelings about the partition of Bengal. It showed a Bengali peasant woman draped in a saffron from head to toe, holding in her 4 hands a piece of white cloth, a book, a sheaf of grain, and a rosary. These were the symbolic of need to meet the basic economic needs of her people, which then were or still are food, clothing, shelter, and education for her countrymen. Abhinandannath had visualized Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's celebrated national poem Bande Mataram to create this painting. A rosary in her hand signifies that as it struggle for liberation, the tradition of spirituality must be protected as a thread of continuity that links the past to the present. It signifies the essence of Dharma, the cosmic law. Historians say that Sister Nivedita, an admirer of the painting, wanted to carry it from Kashmir to Kanyakumari to spread nationalist passion among the people of the country. It was said the painting is an attempt of humanization of Bharat Mata, where the mother is seeking liberation through her sons. Basically, Abhinandannath Tagore want to show or represent all the basic needs for his countrymen, like liberty of worship, liberty of puja, liberty of sacrism. Here he has shown the little blue effect as an earth, and lady he has shown as an mother goddess who is the savior of public. Next is Amrita Shergill's version of Bharat Mata. She has also painted Bharat Mother India, but it was a realist image, critical and very down to earth. Some artist has also critiqued her painting. She painted Bharat Mata as a poor peasant woman with her poor children, a boy in her lap and her daughter by her side. Here the main motive of the artist is showing of that time's poverty among the public. The essence of the theme is poverty of rural India, and the mood is sad caused by the poverty. Her situation, it seeks to paint the average peasant Indian mother as the example of Indianness and the heart of Indian cultural identity. Here she wants to describe the Indian society, what is going on in Indian society because of poverty. So this is all about today's lecture. So next topics we will continue.